Hey nerds, JJ Morris here. Welcome to my channel, and I'm so excited to announce today that the novella that I've been working on, Eris, is available now in ebook and paperback, along with the accompanying album that goes along with it. So, today I'm just going to be talking a lot about the Alyiria project and how I got started with this novella and how I got to be working with this band, and just kind of the whole story about it and some of the things that I've learned along the way with this first self-published project. If you want to support what I do on this channel, make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and then also feel free to join my reader community. Link to that is down in the description. Anyway, talking about Alyiria and the novella Eris. So, I started working with the band Alyiria way back in like the summer of 2021. The band actually found me through my other YouTube channel, my Metalhead channel, and they found out that I was a writer, and they reached out to me to see if I would be interested in helping them work on a project for them. So we kind of talked a little bit, and basically they have this whole fantasy lore and novella and story that goes along with their music, and so they had this whole world built already, and it was based on, the RPG games that they had played together, and it was very, very vivid and very vast and very interesting and fun world, fun being like really brutal and dark, which is, of course what I like, but it was a really cool world that they had built, and they had a bunch of lore that went behind, all this stuff, and they were building their band around the world that they had built in their RPG games. So first I was really excited about, all the really deep history that they had built with this world, and that they were making a concept album, because of course I love music and I love storytelling, and concept albums do both. So I was pretty excited to, I really wanted to work with them. So we talked about the project that they had going on. Basically, they hadn't written the album yet. They had a few demo tracks, and one main song that they, pretty much knew what the story for it was going to be. And so they sent me the demo track. It was like a 15-minute long track with a really cool story behind it. And they asked if I would, expand that into, a short story. So of course I went into town and I just wrote a whole 20,000 word novella for just one song. And I was like, I know you really asked for like a short story, but I couldn't help it. I was just really excited about the world and the characters, and I had some really good ideas for, bringing it all together within this one, track that they had given me information on. And so I just, kind of wrote to my heart's content. And yeah, they ended up hiring me as, just a freelance writer to write that story. So it was a really fun story, and I, hope it will get released eventually. But as time went on, after I completed that project for them, it turned out that they ended up going a different direction with their music. They decided to put that song and that whole idea storyline-wise on the shelf for the moment, and then they were moving on to kind of like a different part of the lore and different stories that they were more excited about making music for. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, I'm not in any rush to get it out there, so it was fine by me. So after they told me they're going in a slightly different direction for their debut album, we were still in contact during that period of time while they were making that new album, which would become Eris, which is out today. And so yeah, we're in contact, and they didn't they kind of already had the story idea lined up for it. It wasn't a cohesive storyline. It was like just excerpts from different parts of the world and different, characters that they had within the world and their stories. And they asked me for advice as far as the lyrics because, they're from Brazil, and, English isn't necessarily their first language. And so they wanted to make sure that they got everything correct, and they wanted my opinion on, how the lyrics were crafted and things like that. Which, I'm not like a I don't really write lyrics, I don't write poetry, so I was like, yeah, it looks great. But yeah, they sent me all the lyrics, and they sent me the demo tracks for the album. And so they sent me, this whole packet, which was like the lyrics, and then after each set of lyrics, it was like a short story description, like a paragraph or two explaining, what the concept was for that track and that story within that track. And so I listened to the demos, and I read through the lyrics, and I read through the stories, and I got really excited because the music was so fantastic. They are I guess I would call them a progressive death metal band. And of course, that's just my flavor of music that I really enjoy. And the music was fantastic, and the stories were really cool, and the world was beautiful. And so I was like, I gave them, the best advice that I could as far as lyrics and all that go. But then I secretly started to write. I didn't tell them that I was doing this, but I was just really excited about the world, and I feel like they had done such an amazing job coming up with the concept for each song that I wanted to kind of bring it to life a little bit more. And I was just inspired to write the thing in general. And so I started writing, and I figured out how to make the concept album more of a cohesive storyline. So it would have been just like a collection of short stories, which it still is technically, but I kind of made it so that it has a plot and storyline that goes from start to finish, with one main character that comes in and out throughout each of the stories. And so, yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking. I had finished it, and I was like, well, they didn't ask me to write this, and they might not even like it. So at the time I was okay. I was like, if they don't like it, it's fine. It was just a good writing exercise, if they don't want to use it or whatever. So I sent it to them, fairly nervous, I guess. And I was like, well, we'll see what they say. So luckily they, really loved it, and they were really excited about it. It was just a really joyful experience to see their reaction to it, and how excited they got over it. So yeah, I was happy that it all worked out. We did go back and forth, talking about the story and, making some edits here and there. But basically I just got to do whatever I wanted, and I was really excited to be allowed that creative liberty. And the story, I think, turned out fantastic. I'm really proud to be a part of this project that is so immersive in that we have like the music, and then we have this story that goes along with it, and they have other things that they're doing. They have commissioned a ton of beautiful artwork that goes with it, and they eventually want to expand into kind of all other areas of just a full experience, more than just the music, which is one of the coolest things ever. I think that all bands should, try to expand in that direction, because that's just the kind of thing that I love as a fan of the music. And so, yeah, fast forward to, it's snowing outside. Okay. So fast forward a few months, throughout the tail end of 2022, they released 3 singles, in which I also released the short story for each of those singles, which you may have received if you're part of my Metalhead community. But yeah, it was my first time doing that, releasing parts or chapters of a story, like 1 month here and another month here, and a little bit at a time. So that was a first for me. I was a little bit scared to do that because, of course, I hadn't done my final edit on the story, and I hadn't had it proofread yet. And so I was like, okay, well, this is going out there. I hope it's, not have too many grammatical errors and stuff like that. And then the band decided that they were going to release their full album this week, Friday the 13th, which is obviously a cool date. And so I knew the release date way ahead of time, but I procrastinated on this project so much that I'm certainly really regretting by this point. This is my first experience self-publishing anything, and I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of work. Of course I knew it was a lot of work, and I knew I was procrastinating the month or two that I had to prepare, but I got sick, and then it was the holidays, and I had family in town, and I had some personal stuff going on, all the excuses. And so yeah, I procrastinated on doing the whole final edit of the story, and getting the proofreading done for it and everything. So next time I will do that way in advance, and I will also upload the story way in advance. So basically I used Draft Digital to send this story out to all the different book chains and digital platforms and all that. I also use Draft Digital to do my print books. So yes, I'm going to have it available in paperback, which I'm excited to receive. But if I had turned it in a week sooner, I could have actually be holding up a copy of the book, because my author copies would have been here if I had done this way sooner than last week. So last weekend, I pretty much spent the entire weekend just frantically trying to figure out how to upload things to various platforms. Draft Digital made it really easy because they distribute to all the big platforms, but I did Amazon ebook separately separately from draft to digital. Don't know if it was worth it. Probably not. And then I also uploaded to Google Play, which at the moment Google is still like reviewing my account, so it's not actually available on Google Play yet, but it might be by the end of today, hopefully. So yeah, it's a lot of headaches, which a lot of like things just took forever. The whole like formatting process for the book and getting the cover design to look right when it, you know, is printed and stuff. That was just took forever, and I ran into a lot of like things where I just had to Google to try and figure out what to do, because I kept getting stuck. And then of course the button to do whatever I wanted to do was like right in front of my face, and I just didn't see it, of course. But yes, note to self and note to you, future self-published authors, upload your stuff way sooner than the release date. And that way, you know, if you do that, then you can actually have time for like pre-orders and stuff, which I didn't really do at all. I was like, some of my stuff was available for pre-order for like a week before today. So yeah, a very short pre-order period, which is probably not the smartest thing to do. But yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit more of my whole like things that I learned from this whole self-publishing thing when I do in my next video that I do, talking about things that I've learned after writing for 3 years, because it's officially been 3 years since I've been writing. And I'm pretty excited about the things that I've accomplished so far, and I'm really excited about this novella. If you are at all interested in metal music, or if you're at all interested in dark fantasy, go ahead and check it out. You can of course read the preview on the Amazon page to see if it's something you might be interested in. And then you can also sample the music. I will put links down to everything down in the description if you want to check any of it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being so supportive during this time period, and I really appreciate your guys' excitement over this project, and basically just being cool, amazing people, and I love this community. So anyway, if you want to learn a little bit more about this project, I will be doing an interview with the band on my sister channel, JJ Metalhead, in a couple days. So yeah, if you want to see the behind the scenes stuff about how the music came together and how the story came together, and you know, song meanings, and how, you know, the concept was inspired and all that kind of thing, then yeah, check out that video, and I will link it in this video once that is uploaded to my other channel. I'm going to try and upload to this channel a lot more often. That's one of my goals for this year, to, you know, pay a little bit more attention to this channel and try and, you know, stay more current on it. I'm also excited to possibly bring a few more author interviews to this channel, and yeah, just you know, try to maintain this site a little bit better. Yeah, that's about all I have for today, and I just wanted to talk about the project and tell you how excited I am, and you know, hope that you guys might think about checking it out. Thanks for watching, and until next time.